This is for Teresa. Hi, everybody. Okay, this is the Overwhelm and Burnout one. Okay, I know, people pleasing, LOL. Whatever. The second half is the better half, anyways, so you guys need this. Okay, so anyhow, way to call me out, Pete. That was funny. The second half, we're going to be doing tips, but the first part is just kind of understanding what's happening to you. And so when I'm talking about riding the wave, you can be overwhelmed and then you can feel better for a little bit. And it's really this mindset shift that I want you to understand that, like, when you're overwhelmed, you're like always like, fuck, I'm always going to be this overwhelmed. And then when you're chill, you're like, oh, I'm always going to be this chill. And it's nothing is ever a constant, right? It's just the wave. So, one thing that you can always do is think about, like, in this moment, right now, how am I right now? And so, right now, are we good? Right now, are you like stressed? Are you at work? Are you being yelled at by your boss? Are your kids not eating dinner? Maybe they aren't. But take a moment to feel like, in this moment, I'm okay. And so I think it's really important to always just like bring it back to the now, bring it back to the now. And that way you'll have an understanding that you're not just boom, crash. You can ride this and you're okay. And what can you do? And then as we work together, and I think we really should do a purpose and alignment session. Atika, will you write that down? Purpose and alignment. And then Nisha had a one too about resetting your nervous system. Um, anyway, so I think if we get you guys to feeling like what your purpose and alignment is, you're going to be able to pretty easily hack away some bullshit that you think you needed to do, but you don't need to do. I thought I could only have a successful business if I did Facebook ads because that's what social media was telling me. And do you know how many clients I got through spending money on Facebook ads? Zero. None. Not one client saw my ads that I worked so hard for and spent money on. Like, literally nobody could give a shit about my ads and what I was doing. And that was awesome because I learned great because, like, I'm not a marketer anyways and I hate it and it's not working, so I could cut it out. Oh yeah, I love The Purpose Driven Life. That's a great book. Thank you, Clint. Okay, so the next part is, let me share again. See, maybe I should have taken a nap and then I would have recorded from the beginning and had my links right. Okay, next part is perfectionism. How many of you guys suffer from perfectionism? Yeah, that is a hard one. Perfectionism is a very interesting affliction, I'll say, that we're going to be working with because kind of all in your head in a sense. Like you can definitely have people in your life who are um hard on you and who want things to a certain way. Like maybe you had very type A parents, maybe you have a boss who's really demanding. That's not to say that other people won't expect perfectionism of you, but one thing I've learned through being alive and being a coach is that if you identify as a perfectionist, all your shit is probably already better than most people's all the time. Like even you like half-assing it, which is like super uncomfortable for you, a perfectionist half-assing it is actually better than like a regular Joe doing it as hard as he can. That sounds cold-hearted, but that is real. That if you have any kind of perfectionism, you're really truly already doing great, and you just can't experience that. Yeah, I love what Tina just said. If you feel you only gave 40, you actually gave 100%. Let's add that. Let's add that to our little thingy. Oh, okay. 40%. Okay, I'm gonna give that to you guys later. So, anyhow, so it's a really interesting thing that you're probably already doing a lot better than you think. So if you're a perfectionist, I want to invite you to think about who are you trying to be perfect for? What are you trying to be perfect for? Who's judging you? Who's the like end all be all that's going to say mark A plus or F? Like who is that person? Is it just you? Where does that come from? What's the voice in your head? Is it a parent? Is it a teacher? Um, yeah, something to think about. Next is restlessness, constantly chasing the next thing. Oh wait, I want to see what somebody said. Oh yeah, John says 8 out of 10 times it's himself. Okay, so restlessness is going to be constantly chasing and doing. There's always a new shiny toy or like, business idea or friend or something. And that keeps you distracted and unable to stay present. So, how many of you guys feel like you're kind of restless or all over the place? Always wanting something better. Yeah. So, I have a really good friend who's a coach too. And she you know, wants wants to be successful and make money, and she's phenomenal. Um, but she can't ever get her business off the ground because every other week it's like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. And she's like always changing. And so she's never stuck with anything long enough for it to become a thing, right? Like everything takes time. But then because of that, she feels overwhelmed because she's got half a dozen things that are undone around her life. Oh, I didn't finish that course. I didn't finish that project. I didn't call that client back. How many of you guys feel like you have a lot of stuff undone? Let's see. Excuse me for just a second. Oh no, he's good. I have a dog with dementia, and sometimes he feels like he knows I'm behind this door. Yeah, so you have a lot of stuff undone. Does that sense of having things undone stress you out? Okay, one sec. Come on there. There you go. Good. It's okay. Okay, sorry guys. Charlie's got real cute little old man dementia. Okay, so when you're thinking about these things that are undone, oh yeah, so Jessica says, not anymore. I refuse to take on more. So these can be really, really simple little things that you can do to fix. This is going to sound so silly, but don't start something new until you finish something. Just as simple as that. So I'm a seamstress and I get distracted all the time because there's like a new pattern for a dress or something, and I haven't finished the shirt. So it's like, no, finish the mending, and then you can make something new, and then finish that thing, and then you can get the new pattern. So try a technique like that if this is kind of your situation to where you can not have those like things just sitting on the shelf talking to you from afar. Okay, the last one is fear of missing out. Good old FOMO. So maybe you're saying yes to stuff because you don't want to miss an opportunity, an event, or a connection, which is resulting in overscheduling, shallow engagement, constant depletion. And FOMO is driven by scarcity. So it's like thinking that nothing is ever going to come your way. Nothing ever is going to come your way anymore. So you trust that the opportunity, you've got to trust that the right opportunities will come at the right time. So my friend who's struggling with her business, um, she says yes to everything because she's afraid of missing out. Even if it's like not even the right fit for her, she says yes to everything. And it's like, that's definitely leading to her feeling. Ooh, yeah. So Clint says abundance mentality. So I shifted on this one. I used to feel FOMO for sure with like all these things that I could do. Um, and now I don't feel it anymore just because I feel like what's right for me, I'm gonna do or not do. And I've missed out on so many amazing opportunities. And honestly, like my biggest regret was like something that I chose to miss out on, and now I did. Yeah, it was the New Kids on the Block concert that was just recently, and they were with oh God, what's her name that did the song with the cat? Opposites Attract. Yeah. They did a concert together, Paula Abdul, and I didn't go because I didn't feel like I deserved to go, and that's my biggest regret. And it was so fun, I bet. Um, and so like I had a fear of missing out of the opposite of that, where it was like a low self-esteem and I didn't deserve to go have fun because I hadn't achieved XYZ, which is so stupid, but I'm also really glad that experience happened because I will never let it happen again. Okay, so everybody good? Everybody with me? Did I lose you at Paula Abdul? Okay, next. Now we're gonna get into the tips and stuff. Okay, so these are gonna be all practical tools. Um, this is kind of a short session. I wonder if we should do breakout rooms since it's such a little thing. How do you guys feel about doing breakout rooms since we do them sometimes? Yeah, Mark knows about Paula Abdul. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's do it. Mark, how old are you? I'm so curious if you don't mind sharing with the group. Oh, 55. Hello. Okay, you're. So yeah, she was like, I mean, I went to a Paula Abdul birthday party when I was a little kid. It was the best birthday party. Yeah, it's usually only an hour and a half. So I can do the tips, and then if we want to run later, we can do breakout rooms. So let's do that. Okay, so the first one is the hell yes rule. Um, so if you get an invitation, let me share this. I want to make sure you guys really get to understand it. Yeah, this is our group. I'm not the boss. We're doing this together. Okay, so the hell yes rule is if you get an invitation or um, anything. Do you want to go to dinner? Do you want to take on this project? Do you want to go on a whatever? See if the invitation, does it feel like a full body yes? And the idea is if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. I don't think that it's 100% true. I don't think that this is a hard and fast rule, but how about we start with this one? And then once you nail this one, then we can have some wiggle room. Maybe that's the way to go. So if it's not a hell yes, if somebody's like, do you want to go see Tron in 3D? And you're like, ugh, okay, well, that's a no. It's a no. And you can always come up with a counter option of like, actually want to see Tron, but not in 3D. So, you can always negotiate that. So, thinking of this rule, this is one of those ones where we're going to really feel into our bodies. Is it a hell yes? Is it a hell no? How many of you guys have ever Okay, so Atika says, what if burnout makes you lose interest in things you normally love? Um, I love that question, Atika. Um, I personally feel like if you're experiencing legit burnout, right? Like burnout, I think you should say no to a shit ton of things. I think you should say no and be like a guard dog for your energy. Um, Yeah, I'm very like I feel really strongly about that. Not overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is like an option. Like maybe it's a yes and a no. But if you're at the point of burnout where you're like, you know, I can't get out of bed. It's Saturday, I'm not even putting on pants. Like all I can eat is smoothies because chewing feels too exhausting. I want you to actively say no to as much as humanly possible. Like, what can you say no to? I was like a junkyard dog about my energy. Um, because I was actually bedridden. From my burnout, I was actually bedridden for 3 months. I lost the use of my hands. My husband was dressing me for 3 months. I lost vision in my left eye. Like, I was destroyed from a toxic work environment. And there was nothing. Like my sweet, wonderful husband did everything because I was like I'm not going to do anything. I didn't go to any parties. I didn't see friends. I didn't make phone calls. I didn't text. Like I just shut it down. I understand you might have a problem saying no. Um, but think of it that you're saying yes to yourself. You're not saying no to them, you're saying yes to yourself. Uh, when you are in a burnout, like a real legitimate, like horrible experience, just say no. Unless you're trying to say no to me, Atika, and then we'll talk. No, I will be a junkyard dog for your energy too. Does that make sense? If you're feeling like really shitty and low, like I know Teresa was really struggling with some health issues, so it's like this is when you need to, the world will go on. If you lose friends because they can't understand that you need a break, then maybe they're not good friends. I had really supportive friends who like I didn't talk to for 6 months. And then when I came back around, they were like, glad you're back. And it was lovely. I didn't have to feel bad. So for right now, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Oh yeah, losing friends is scary. Um, One thing that's really cool about aging though is that other people as we age are also experiencing other things. And so they'll understand if you're like, I need a break, they need a break. Okay, Shannon, we should talk. Oh yeah, I remember. I think Shannon and I have spoken before. Okay. So get into your body and see is it a hell yes? If not, it's a hell no. Um, yeah, I almost never say yes to to things that I don't want to do anymore. Um, yeah, I have to really want to do it just because time is a real finite thing, right? We can make money, we can, find activities, but time, we are limited. Okay, let me go here. Next is going to be the alignment check. So before committing, ask, does this serve my energy, values, and purpose? And I know we're going to do a values and purpose one, but does this serve my energy, values, and purpose? And you can pause, right? Like, so you can add this to the hell yes, hell no situation. So let's say you're like, somebody wants to ask you out, let's go to movies or something. And you're like, ooh, it's not an immediate hell no, but it's definitely not a hell yes. Then you can ask, is this in alignment? So if my friend asks me to go see a movie at 6, 7, that's an alignment. I like to watch a movie. I could go home, go to bed after that. If a friend's asked me to go see a movie at 10 p.m., that is a hell no. That is not an alignment. That doesn't serve my purpose. I hate them so much for asking me 10 o'clock. It's crazy. So, see what is in alignment with you. Um, is it a weird French movie that's like in black and white that would make you want to run screaming? Then no, that's a no for you. So just play with it and see if it's in aligned. And again, counterbalance. Well, I do want to go see a movie with you, but 10 o'clock is too late. Can we go see the matinee? So I could be asleep by 8 p.m. However you need to do that. And you can really focus on like what things have you said yes to that felt right? That was like, yeah, that was in alignment with me because I like stuff. So maybe when you think about things you say yes to, like maybe you went and said yes to playing kickball in the park with friends. And later you're like, God, that was a really great time. Maybe you thought it was because you like kickball so much, but maybe it was really because you like being outside. So like that's kind of a way to see what's in alignment. Like maybe this activity isn't perfect, but man, I like to be outside. Or um, my friend Jules, I'll do anything with her. Anything she asks me to do, I'm gonna do because I have so much fun with her. So, that's typically in alignment. Okay, next one is Gen Xers rock. Yeah, we love to go to bed early. Okay, energy audit. So this is something that you can do as an activity, or you could even kind of start now with the journal that you have. You can make two columns, drains and fuel. And I really, really, really like doing this. I've done this for myself a couple of times. So you can make two columns, what drains me, what fuels me. These can be people, activities, habits. Um, Maybe you have a habit that you watch TV every night, but you actually don't like it because there was all this other stuff you wanted to do, but you just watch TV. Or maybe I have a client who her husband can sleep until noon and it enrages her. And she's like so mad at her husband all the time. And it's like, well, you got to let him be him. What could we do with that time? And so she's figured out that, like, actually, that's 3 hours that I don't have to talk to him. And I can, do the crossword puzzle. And now she loves, oh, he slept in. And she's like, feels like she got away with something. And it's adorable. So think about that. Yeah, social media, that is a time suck. Um, yeah, so think about what adds to you, what fuels you. Typically, walking my dogs fuels me if I'm not already exhausted. It makes me so happy. I just love it so much. Um, I have friends that really fuel me. I have friends that I think are winding down, I would say. I don't feel as pleasant when I interact with them. I'm always like, oh, that feels kind of icky. So I think that could be somebody that I could, walk away from. Okay. So this is a really good practice to see what you can eliminate. Let's take it a step further too. What about food? Food and alcohol and anything we intake. Um, So there's a lot of really delicious foods that are so bad for us. They taste so good and they give us that immediate satisfaction of like, oh, grease and fat. And then like 20 minutes later, you're like, oh, grease and fat. So maybe knowing that, maybe you don't eat that food right before you have something big to do, right before you need your energy for something else. Or maybe understanding, Mark, me too. I freaking love ice cream. I know we would be such friends. Um, so maybe knowing like, okay, burgers and fries are my weakness, but I usually tend to make poor decisions after I eat a burger and a fry. Maybe you save that for a day when like nobody's going to be asking anything of you. Um, Also alcohol. Um, Maybe drinking is your thing and you love it and it feels good, great. But maybe you drink and you just feel exhausted the next and you just feel, that's my husband. Sorry. No, it's okay. Charlie needs to eat now. Yeah, so now maybe you're drinking and the next day you feel like toast. For anybody who's over 45, you're like wildly dehydrated. So, that's something that you're doing that can deplete your energy. And then notice like if you feel like shit, you're not going to make good choices. So you might feel like it's easier to say yes. Like this is my thing. If I already feel like shit, I'm more likely to say yes to something I don't like. And you think it would be the opposite. You think I'd be like, I'm hungover. No, I'm not going to do anything. But if I'm hungover and I feel like shit, I'm like, pile it on. Let's do some more. Like, I'm already miserable. Let's just throw it on, and just set this day on fire. Yeah, so it's just something to think about. Maybe you don't have that experience and I'm the weird one. Okay. Then the next one is let's share. Okay, the next one is saying no scripts. So this is like where we can practice. I know some of you guys were in Jason's class with me. Um, And so this is actually similar to what we learned, but you can have templates ready in your mind so you're not freezing in the moment where you can say like, "Hey, do you want to take on this extra project at work? I appreciate you thinking of me, but I don't have the capacity for that right now." Or that sounds great, but I need to honor my current commitments. I can't do that, but here's what I can do. So you could practice saying these to normalize them. That's absolutely something we can do. Um, like one thing, what was it that just happened? Oh, like I have a friend who always wants to go to like art shows, and I love to go to art shows and buy art that I don't have room for. So, like, I have a box of gorgeous things in my garage that like I go out and enjoy, but like they don't go on the wall. And so the other day she asked me, "Oh, you want to go to the festival?" And it's like, I do, but I can't buy any more art. Like it doesn't, and she asked me, "Do you want to go to the book sale?" Because the library does that $5 paper bag. I don't need any more books, and it's been a really good practice for me because it's so easy and immediate to say yes, especially when it's like buying art and books. That's my jam. But yeah, I've been learning how to say no to that. Um, I could, but I don't want to. I like Amy's. I could, but I don't want to, so I'm gonna say nope. Yeah, yeah, that sounds awful. Now, I'm sure you guys have some people in your life that you can be yourself with. Like my friends know I like to go to bed early. Um, and so like they know that like if they ask me, I'll be like, no, 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 that's 10. That's crazy. That's late. So things like that where maybe you have people that you can get comfortable saying to because they accept you for you, you know. Okay, so next we're gonna go into burnout recovery, which I will be adding to this because I forgot about vagus nerve stimulation. Okay, let's share this. How's everybody doing? Is feeling good? Okay. Let me read what Shauna says. I struggle with making plans for a future day and the night. Okay, this is a huge question that I get a lot. Um, I struggle with making plans for a future day and then not having the capacity when the time comes, but not wanting to be flaky or disrespectful. Shauna, are you an introvert? This is something that a lot of introverts say. It's like, it's so easy to feel positive about that thing in the future, right? And then it comes and you're like, ah. And who here loves it when other people cancel plans? It's like the freaking best. Um, I'm just gonna give you a little friendship tip real quick. It's terrible, but I love it. God. And now it's being recorded. Thanks, Teresa. Um, when I know that a friend is busy, like whatever, it's their kid's birthday or something, I'll invite them to do something. Hey, do you want to come to this picnic with me? And they're like, no, darn it, I can't. It's the kid's birthday. I'm not going on a picnic. I'm going to stay home with my dogs. But now I look like a really good friend because I invited her to do something. Balls in my court, right? I think it's a fantastic tool. And it makes me look a lot more social than I am because I don't actually want to leave my house and my dogs. Like, they're the best. But it makes me look social. Okay, that's just like a little tip. I know Kay's like, oh, you big fat liar. Yeah, and then you get invited to the kids' party. No, they know me well enough to not do that. Um, I cuss too much to be around children. Okay, so, but I want to give all my friends' kids the sex talk. Just a side note, I want to give sex talks. I think it'd be so fun. Okay, so the question is, when it comes time to do it, then she doesn't feel um like she has the capacity. So I think that's going to be a thing for you to really, really practice the alignment one. Because there's lots of awesome things in the future. So maybe what you do is you have something where you say, okay, I say yes to one social thing a week. Maybe you make a limit for yourself. I do one social thing a week. So then, great. And maybe you let everybody ask you and you say, let me get back to you. My calendar's kind of in motion right now. Let me get back to you. You go for a few days and then you have your invitations and you see what's in alignment. And then you get back to the ones that you're not going to go to and say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot I have this other obligation. But I have like hard and fast rules with myself. Like I only do one social event like per weekend day. So sometimes there is like a kid's birthday in the morning and then like afternoon some drinks and then a movie and it's like I could do one because I also have yard work and life. So think about what your limits are. Maybe you want two things. Does that help you at all? Yeah, what's a social life? Okay. So see if that would help you to kind of manage that a little more because you're the boss. You are the boss. Let's be clear about that. We are all the boss of our lives. Okay, so now we're going to get into the deeper stuff of the burnout recovery, ways of having some upswings on that wave. Okay. So the first one is obviously time management. There are a gazillion books that you could read. There are a million little things you could read on time management. I don't want to go deep into it because there are so many things, and I think that it's an individualistic thing. What works for me might not work for you. So I think this is something that you could, you know, because you're not overwhelmed, add this to your plate. Go find some more shit for you to do. But it's a thing you could do. So the top three rule, pick three meaningful tasks daily and let the rest go. This is the one that I do. I have a to-do list a mile long, but at the beginning of each day, I go, okay, what are the three I can get done today? That's it. Now, this is for burnout recovery. So that's kind of different than just feeling overwhelmed. If you feel great, if you're feeling awesome and it's a good day, go nuts. But if you're in burnout, if you're exhausted, if you're overwhelmed, pick three meaningful tasks and let the rest go. And that's just for the today. Now, they don't have to be huge. What's meaningful? You know, like what for me meaningful typically means what's going to alleviate the most stress. So the most stressful things for me are typically if like my kitchen were dirty, that's going to make everything else feel stressful because no matter what I'm doing, every time I walk by my kitchen, there's dirty dishes. And then I'm like, God, I got to cook dinner. And no, I got to deal with these dirty dishes. So, okay, that's something I can do. If there's something that you need to, and maybe Joe now might be the time, we'll get you on in just a second. Um, the other thing you could do is batch. So there's similar groups, calls, emails, errands. Um, this is a really big one that I think for those people that tend to have that restless sensation, consider batching. So like if I go to my bedroom, I'm like, okay, what can I do in here? And here is putting away laundry, folding, stretching, meditating. If I go to the sewing room, okay, that's, these things. If I'm in the kitchen, then it's meal prep and that. Because batching is going to keep you in a single location. So even running errands, like today I ran errands because it was like, this is my day to get out of my pajamas and leave the house and be in a car. So I'm going to go do all the things. And now I don't have to leave the house again for a week. So these are things that you can do. I get a lot of calls from possible spam. Yeah, block them. Oh, I love blocking people. Okay. Um, and then take breaks. So think about this. For every 90 minutes, take a 10-minute break. And we're going to do a break together. We're going to experience that. So pick your top three meaningful things, batch them, I really can't stress how much I think batching has really helped me. I didn't realize how much until I'm like talking about it, but batching has really, really helped me. Like if I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the kitchen. And then definitely we want to take breaks. So closing your eyes, taking a walk, anything like that. And then of course go and read. And then Joe, do you want to come on and chitty chat with us? Because I love your idea.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. So my dad was in the Adirondacks. He was the old-fashioned everything doctor, delivered babies, took out tonsils, appendix, and all of the positive attributes that I now have in my life came from my dad, who lived to almost 100. And I was always taught in school, and I've always had a type A personality that I have this list of all these things you have to get done, and you cross off the list, and it causes so much stress. And I had such a great aha moment when I was, I think about 7 or 8. My dad sat me down and he said, why don't you make, instead of a to do list, because it's so stressful, why don't you make a not to do list? And basically, what that does is you list all the things that you've already done. And instead of causing you stress because you have all these things that you didn't do, you realize that you really got a lot done. And so instead of feeling horrible about yourself, you feel really positive. And I feel so blessed to have had my dad in my life because he taught me so much.
That's an incredible story, Joe. I can't believe you had such a fantastic father and what an amazing doctor in the community.
Yeah, they don't make him like him anymore. He did everything.
Yeah, they don't.
And growing up, I was very resentful because he was never home, but I didn't realize all the things he was doing.
Yeah.
You know,
But you got to spend time with him after he retired?
he actually practiced into his 90s. And I was so fortunate because when he was ill, I flew to San Diego to be with him. He had fallen, and I was so blessed to have this time with him. He told me he had fallen, and I was at his bedside, and he said he was going to try and make it to 100. And all the nurses in the hospital just adored him because he was teaching them how to better, put in the IV. He was always teaching. And he told me that he was a doctor for most of his life and he knew he was dying and he wasn't afraid. And he's been so blessed. And the biggest blessing was me as his daughter. And he was so proud of everything that I'd done in my life. And he loved me. And he told me to take care of my mother. And he died the next day. So I
Wow.
was so blessed, to have that time with him. My brother, unfortunately, wasn't there. So feeling really blessed. So
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Joe. I really appreciate it.
you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Just lovely. I just love Joe. Um, okay, so I will be adding this into our document, and she brought up another thing that I think might balance the overwhelm for the like hyperachievers and the overproductive people is that I keep a list of all the things I've done in my career or whatever it is. But let's say like when I was really struggling to feel like I wasn't successful, my business wasn't going anywhere, I kept a list of everything I had done. And all those stupid marketing things were on there because I did them. But it was like, gosh, actually, I'm kind of amazing. Like, I haven't earned a penny, but I've done a lot of stuff and I've gotten a lot of knowledge out of that. So maybe having a list of like what you've done for a specific reason might also kind of quell that part of your brain that thinks you're not doing enough. Okay, so the next one is we're going to do boundary reset, which is kind of similar to the kind of learning how to say no thing. But this week, I want you to choose one boundary to protect, like no work after 7 p.m. So the script would be I'm unavailable after 7, but I'll respond in the morning. And boundaries can be communicated kindly with strength. You can really build healthy relationships with boundaries. They make them better in a lot of ways because maybe you don't have stupid fights anymore or stupid arguments. But think about one boundary that you can go forth this week and say. So for me, like I shut it down, no more work after 6 p.m. Um, which isn't 100% the case, but that's a boundary that I made for myself because I was working until like 9 and that wasn't helpful. Okay, next up is mindfulness resets. So a 2-minute practice. These are mini vacations. I'm going to kind of come back to that in a minute because that's how we're going to be catching our bodies. So let's go to the body scan first. And this is something we already kind of did a little bit, but like, where am I holding tension? You know? And then it's like, oh, in my jaw. Okay, relax your jaw. Where am I holding tension? In my shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Breathe deeply. And just notice that each time you do that, do you feel a little more relaxed, like signaling to your body, you're safe? Ooh, I like Atika's no responsibilities on Saturdays. That's fun. Okay. Number 5 is the joy prescription. So when you're struggling from burnout, and I'm gonna stop sharing. When you're struggling from burnout, remember that we talked about how I want you to say no, 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 no to everything when you're like in it. However, yes to yourself in a sense of like joy. Anything that brings you joy, anything that can combat that cortisol, anything that can combat that sense of like doom and misery, that's what I want you to do. So, what is joyful for you? Um, So they've actually done studies that rewatching your favorite show is actually very beneficial for you because it is actually very soothing. And so I like to watch The Office up until Andy joins the team and then he bugs me too much. But these things that you can enjoy that bring you happiness. Sometimes I just sit and like watch all my dogs breathe and listen to them snore. Or maybe giving yourself an at-home facial, maybe getting a massage. So I want you to practice bringing in things. And I said 1 week, but let's say if you are legit in the heart of burnout, I want you to do it every single day. And it doesn't have to be big. Um, I find that like really massaging my scalp is beyond enjoyable to me. That just feels amazing. And so sometimes when I watch TV, I just do it. And so maybe that's the thing where it's like, I don't know, just one sensation every day that you feel good and just kind of rebalancing. Um, so the next is going to be, did I just say that? Yeah. So the micro moments, which it doesn't have to be a full day of rest, but we're going to do 10 minutes out of every 90 minutes. So every hour and a half, you do 10 minutes and think of them as energy snacks. Like instead of like, I'm going to take a nap, it's like, I'm just going to have this little snack. Okay, so let's do a little restful little situation here. How has this been? Do you guys want to do like any questions right now? And then we'll do like a little relaxation situation. Does anybody have any questions? You can just raise your hand if you want to come on screen. If not, we're cool. Okay. Okay, so let's do a bunch of little things that can rest us. I'm going to take you on a tour of your body of how to rest yourself. Let's see. Um, okay, so if you guys feel comfortable, we're going to do it together. I like to close my eyes because why not? So we're just going to do an exploration of what feels good and safe for you and how you can relax your body. And can you bring this in for 10 minutes every hour and a half? So let's start at the top and close your eyes if you feel comfortable and just rub your scalp. There are so many nerve endings on your scalp. The one thing I miss about having hair was people would brush my hair, and I loved that. Now there's no hairbrush. So do you guys feel that that feels nice and just soothing and like that's a spot we don't touch a lot? And now go to your ears. And the vagus nerve actually runs into your ears. And so you can rub all through your ears and give them little tugs. An ear likes a tug. And then there's this little like tragus part on your ear. It's actually where like your that funny little triangle that meets your cheek. The vagus nerve is especially in that. And now try rubbing lightly, lightly, lightly on your eyeballs on the outside of your eyelids. Not your actual eyeballs, but on your eyelids. And for those of you who feel any tension in your face, I actually hold a lot of tension in my face. I like to actually pinch my eyebrows. This is going to sound so weird, but if you want to open your eyes to see this weird thing that I'm doing, if you hold any tension in your face, you can actually pinch and like kind of pull your eyebrows. And it's like a weirdly relaxing sensation because that part never gets touched. And now moving down, take your fingers and kind of stroke down your throat. And this actually does two things. This will stimulate your vagus nerve and move lymphatic drainage. So you won't look puffy or whatever. It's just a good thing to do. And then over your heart, I want you to tap. Tapping is such a good thing. We're going to do it in our nervous system reset class. But when you're tapping, one of the things they say to do is actually say nice things to yourself or good positive things. Um, Louise Hayes really loves this. So maybe while you're tapping in your heart right now, because we're together, say something nice to yourself. I'm so happy to be here with you guys right now. You guys make me so happy. I love you. I'm so happy to be here. That just fills my heart with joy. I don't know if you feel that way, but if I tap on my heart and say something super positive like that, I feel joy. Okay, and now you can rest your hands on your lap. And I want you to take a deep breath and then exhale. And another deep breath in. And on the inhale, I want you to notice how big you can expand on the inhale. And on the exhale, how much can you release? And take a couple breaths, just living in this space of expanse and release. And maybe drop your shoulders. On your next exhale, go ahead and just settle down and relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes, relax any tension you might be holding. I want you to see where you're at right now and see if you can make yourself twice as relaxed. I got deeper. And now from this point, see if you can make yourself twice as relaxed again. Beautiful. Now take a big inhale and put a smile on your lips. And in this moment, you're doing great. Everything is great. This moment right now, you're great. We're safe. This is where we need to be. You belong here. You're loved. And when you're ready, come back to the room. Now, who feels more chill? Right? We feel more chill. Um, oh yeah, I'll get you the document. So, yeah, these are little things you could do. That took all of maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and it's like, oh, okay, well, there's no problem. I'm fine. And so I want you to be doing little things like this every 30 minutes. I mean, every 90 minutes for 10 minutes. So maybe that means you set a timer so that your day doesn't get away from you. Um, the next part that I want to share, we're almost done. Um, I like affirmations. They don't have to be anything. Some people are like super into them. I enjoy them. I think that they can be what you want. But maybe one of these means something for you. Make up your own, whatever it is. And, you know, do the tapping. For me, um, I like saying for now. Just that, for now. It makes me feel at peace. Like I'm busy for now. I'm tired for now. I'm hungry for now. Do you see how it eliminates that like suffocating pressure of forever? So for me, it's like whenever I'm trying to think about something, I feel fat for now, you know, or whatever. So it's like that for now is like a real magic key. So, real quick in your heads, what's the thing that's been stressing you out? And then end it with for now in your head. And it just kind of, it's chill. Okay, so that is all I have for you today. Does anybody have any questions? Do they want to chat? Everybody's good. I am going to fix up this document tomorrow. Oh, thanks, Nisha. Nisha, this was your idea to have this session, so thank you very much for telling us to do it. Um, so think about, um, God, what was I going to say? Let me just make sure you know. You're going to take little breaks. You're going to think about who you could say no to. You're going to make boundaries, whatever it is that makes you feel good. And then let's work on purpose. I'm going to go into the document tomorrow, add the stuff that I didn't put in, and I want to put in some vagus nerve stimulation. Um, yes, Randy, if you go to the top of the document, there is a link. If you want to work for me, if you want to work for me, if you want to work with me, there's just a link that you can follow. You've got to kind of do a little bit of the sign up, but then we can talk. And then if you like this, if you like what we do, feel free to donate. There's just like a little donation button on Meetup, which helps pay for Zoom. And if you ever have any suggestions for things that we can do, any topics, anything like that, it's really inspiring for me so that I don't always have to make up, because you guys can tell what I'm going through in my life based on the topics. And so yeah, so I really, really like when somebody adds something. Negotiation. Nisha, I need you to explain negotiation, please. Or you can email me. We have each other's emails. But okay, anybody have anything else? Okay, well, you guys are lovely. This was so easy and chill, and we got some of it recorded, so that's good. Yay! Joe, thanks for sharing, and Atika, thank you for running the whole show. Yes, Joe, the story of your dad is really beautiful. Okay, well, I love you guys. Bye.